Hello my lovelies and welcome to Juliet's Sewing Life. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a waterproof reusable mask. Yes, there's loads of lovely videos on YouTube about how to make masks, but I really wanted mine to be waterproof and I needed it to be reusable, it had to be able to be washed and worn. So proof is in the pudding, so let's have a look at this one. Let's see, this is straight out of the wash. This is this one, I wore this, it's straight out of the wash. So let's see if we will press and we can reuse it. So let's see how that goes. Oh, looks okay. Oh, let's move the elastic out of the way. I'm not sure how that will go. Should be fine. Right, well, there we are. Let's see. Well, that seemed to be, that's the back. That seems to be fine. So let's air it a bit and then let's put it on. Let's put it on a bit. See if it worked. Right. Oh, I tell you what. I mean, that's perfect. But I do feel claustrophobic. Oh, this is a small one. This could be for, I've got two sizes that I'm going to do for you. So I'll just show you some of that I made. I'm making them for all my family. So this one's my son's. This is a protection of the Jedi. I think you'd find that amusing. So here are the patterns. This is the small one which I had on. I mean, it says children, but it's for small face or for a larger face. Those are the ones. These are going to be available, the sizes are going to be down in the description, and I'm going to do a template so you can just print it out and cut it out and get going straight away. I used a fat quarter, so this is directional like his mask was. So on a large one you're probably only going to get two because you need some cutting room and it's directional, but with these ones, which is not directional, these ones, I could get 3 out of a fat quarter, sort of like there, 1, 2, and the last one 3. So you can get 3 out of them with the big one. So that's a fat quarter. So let's tidy up some of these. Okay, put that one away. So this is the pattern I use for my niece. Yeah. So let me put my glasses on. You need 2 pieces of fabric, and what I use to make it waterproof is a shower curtain, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Has to be this fabric type, almost like a lining shower curtain, not the plastic one. Number one, it's too hot, you won't be able to breathe, and you certainly won't be able to put an iron on it. And this is very breathable, very water repellent, so no sneezes or anything will get through that. So the first thing we do is we put both of our sides together like that. Then we put, I need one. We put one of the shower curtain pieces, we only need one, like that. Just secure that with some pins. Now take, shouldn't know better, but I like to keep them together. So we're going to put our template on. We only need to do 2 lines, so I've got enough distance here and there. My ruler. Make sure it's straight-ish. Really doesn't matter. It'll just be slightly wonky. It will still work. So I hope everybody's coping well. It's touched my family. At the moment I have my I think she's 87-year-old mother living in the same house as my niece. And my niece actually has it, so these masks are more than needed. Luckily, my parents' house is a large house, so they can move about without being obstructed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to sew right across from there to there on both sides. So let's do that now. Okay, and back stitch. Get a bit more speed. I've done so many masks. There we are. I'm just going to go up the other side now. Same thing. Drop the needle. Let's go forward. Slightly overkill the back stitch there, but I wanted to make sure that I got to the very end. And sometimes if you start at the end, at the beginning, it will just chew it up, so sometimes it's best just to go in. Just get a little bit more. Right, snip those threads. Okay. Right, here we go. So I've just sewn, take these pins out, don't need these anymore. So I've just sewn the lines like that. I always like to just check it to make sure that I've caught everything, turn it the right way. And all the sides have been caught. Now we're going to press our seams open. I'm going to use this. You don't need a sleeve press, it's just very handy if you have one. Get it out, especially if you're going to be making loads of these. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. But my niece is doing fine. We dropped off some paracetamol for her, and my mum's doing fine, so all well. Okay, there we are. Let's go that way. This way, there we are. Alright, just press these open. As you can see, the shower curtain does not melt or anything. And we're just going to get the other side. I think it's six seams to do this, remember correctly. So that's 2, because we can do Sesame Street and count them as we go. All I'm going to do now is just tidy up. There's a lot of fabric here, we don't need all that fabric. Obviously if you cut it down and it's nice and even, you don't need to do this. It's just that there's a lot of fabric and this is sticking out. Okay, now we're going to turn it the right way. Like that. Just roll that. So it's just nice seams. We're going to give it a good press. And take it to the mat. There we are. saw this lovely lady make one. She had a nappy liner, and then she had this plastic bag thing. I was like, oh, that's ingenious. But I didn't want to make a throwaway one. It had to be reusable. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to sew. We're going to top stitch along here and again along here, right close to the edge. You don't need to back stitch. Should be fine here. There we are. Slow you down a bit so I'll get started. There we are. Speed up a bit. When I was making like, I don't know, 20 of these, they were so hot. It's like I've got asbestos fingers. Just go down the other side. Here we are. Okay. I felt really good knowing that I could actually do something to help. Who knew your hobby could actually save someone's life, which is quite profound when you think about it. So now I'll just take that. Just clear up these ends. Okay. Right. Okay, now we're going to put these in, the pleats. Oops. On the floor. That's no good. We're going to put the pleats in. So we come down from the sides. We're going to go an inch in and an inch on the other side as well, and we're just going to put our pleats in from here. So it's quite straightforward. I think, can you see that yellow mark here? Yes, there we are. So we're just going to, I tend to do about 3, that seems to work. And trust me, after making so many of these, you definitely want to put the pins out. Oh, definitely. From a person who knows. Where did it go? Here we are. Okay. Can you see that? It's just really making tucks or pleats. I think pleats is probably a better word. And we're going to go outwards. So this is a great time if you've got, you know, like frozen fabric or anything like that. You can make those for your, especially if someone's got little girls or something, it will make it so much easier to cope with if they've got something cute. And now, see if you see it's made a pleat. What we're going to do is we're just going to use a very hot iron and complete those. No, we're going to, I think it's easier to just pin the next slot and then it will just go easier. I've actually got these little lines that's making it quite nice and easy for me. The most important thing is to line up your edges so your edges are straight, if you like that. Edges are flush. Pin outwards, and again using this pleat along, it's just doing all the job for you. You can really get going on these, especially when you're making a lot. Make sure you can see that, and then that's the last pleat like this. Secure it here. Oops. Okay. Now we have one that's slightly, ooh, you can see already that one was fatter than the other, so we're just going to take a little bit more time. Outwards, and again the second one. Of course, now that I'm doing it for you guys, it's all going to be like going a bit Pete Tong. Perfectly fine on my own. Oh, Pete Tong, wrong. Bit of I'm sorry, Pete Tong. What is that? What's It's a bit Cockney rhyming slang. A bit Pete Tong. Pete Tong was he probably still is a DJ, was. He was quite big in the 90s in London, in the London scene. I think that's better. And the last one here. Right, now that's better. We're going to take that across and then just press that. Nice hot iron. Be careful if your pins are like plastic, just be careful about, I wouldn't recommend going over them, but if you've got glass head, you're perfectly fine. Just give them a good press because we really want to set these. This is what's going to make it pop. Sometimes I go from the back. Alright, now all we're going to do is sew along here, sort of, let me see, let's put a little mark here, about here. And the reason is because we're going to make a chamber for the tie pieces. So let's do that now. We're just going to run a stitch along there. Let's do that one there. Okay. So I don't know why I did that. It's not the time to have done it. Now is over the pleats I do back stitch just to secure them. Now's the time to have done the back stitching, and then again just move forward. Just gonna take that pin out, don't want to go over pins. Right, on the back stitch. Oh. Same on the other side. Oh, about there. There we are. Let's take that pin out. Okay, so now we've secured these stitches, and all we need to do now is turn that over and press. Make sure your oven, I was just going to say your oven is very hot. Try iron. Make sure your iron is very hot. There we go. And the same on the other side. And this is now creating the chamber for your strings to go in, or your elastic. got. I'm going to just do it on the other side. Lovely, perfectly pressed. Okay, now we're simply going to sew down here, leaving this open so we can run our things through, our safety pin through. Definitely need to be holding these. Same on the other side. Let's just tidy that up. A lot of threads there. Now this is quite a fraying fabric, so I think I'm just going to do a zigzag along here, right on the edge, just to finish that off so it doesn't fray, because it is already fraying. So let's just drop that needle. Same on the other side. Oh, oh, I think my bobbing is caught. Something is definitely pulling. Yeah, bobbing thread is caught. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's do a bit of tidying up. So much thread, so much cotton. So at this stage, I'd basically have a whole pile of these. And then when I'm done all of my masks, I would then do the string last. So I just want to tidy all that up. Right, now there is, in terms of elastic, I'm using this, I think it's for jewelry, and it's very stretchy. If you don't have that, then you can use obviously very thin elastic like this, which is wonderful. It's just that I have to make a lot of them and I don't have enough of this, so that will work as well. And if you do use anything like this, then you have to make sure that your chamber is going to be wide enough to do it. But since I'm only using this, I don't need it to be that wide. So what tends to work is 11 inches. So can you see here? Yeah, just a bit. 11 inches, and then I just double that up. Really, you just want something that's quite stretchy, and I just pop that in a knot. Oops. Like so. Oops. one. About in there. And just double that up. Okay. Okay, now move that out of the way. Okay, we need a safety pin. Just oops, loop that in. And we just work our way up the chamber. There we are. Sometimes it can get stuck on the pleats, so just be mindful and probably go the opposite direction. It'll be a lot easier. There we are. Push that up. There it is. Repeat on the other side. See if this one will just bypass the pleats. We're gonna get lucky. Oh, there we go. That up. Just have to, there's a lot of cotton. This particular one, when I was making this, it wasn't fraying as much. It's just different cottons, I guess. There we are. Right. The next time, right, and then all you have to do after that is always make sure that the knot side, I reuse if you like. I'm sure if you was like in the brownies or the girl's guide or something like that, you'd probably have really great knots and you'd be like screaming at the YouTube going, no, you didn't need to do that, you needed to do X, Y, Z, and I don't know it. But if you see, and they're like, see, that wouldn't have happened. So, but so that's nice and tight, and then we just simply move that inside so we don't see the gubbins, as we say here, which is not really a word. It's not a word at all. So you've gone a bit Pete Tong, so you've learned a bit of Cockney rhyming slang, and gubbins, which is, I'm not even sure that's a word, but we use it a lot. Last bit here. Place that, all the bits inside. A lot of cotton. Be careful. There we are. More cotton. Okay. So now here we have it. Your mask. So let's try it out, shall we? I'll take my glasses off so we don't get ourselves all tangled. Let's see. Proof's in the pudding. Let's see. Can I see? There we are. Oh, I've lost my ear. I don't think it's on. Oh, there we go. I think that works. Completely waterproof. And it should give you some protection. There we are. Let's put my specs on. Gosh, look at that. Oh, now I can see. It's really comfortable, it's breathable, it's reusable. You can wash it, you can put it in the dryer, which is really important, especially if there's a lot of you, and reuse it as many times as you need. So it's obviously affected my family, and I'm not alone, and I'm hoping it's not affecting your family. And if you can make these, please do for your community. As I said, the The pattern, I'm going to make a downloadable one because I'm so not good with the 5.5 and the whatever, and then they might do in centimeters, not please. So I'm just going to make it a printable thing. You just print it out and then cut it up and then find your fabric and make some, and just be safe. And I'm so happy to have helped you in any way. So you take care of yourself, really take care of yourself, and keep sewing. I will be doing, because I'm in all the time now, I will be doing some sort of live shooting, no, not, I won't be doing live shooting, but I will be doing live sewing, making some making some clothes, and if we can sew together, that'd be great. So until then, I will see you. You take care of yourself and all the ones you love. Thank you so much. Bye bye.